We are just getting new video from inside the school as that deadly shooting was underway. It was recorded by a student. Holy. Oh my God! That scene there played out in an American high school classroom today. Those are teenagers on the floor under their chairs and.
Which country is the greatest? Many Americans would say here in the United States. But did that video look great to you? The truth of the matter is that we're not that great at all. According to PewResource.org and the Program for International Student Assessment, which measures reading, math, and science skills of students all across the world, we as a country, we're not smart. We rank 38th in math and 24th in science. With that in mind, however, we do rank number 1 in one category, and that's gun ownership. According to CNN.com, 40% of the estimated 650 million guns in the world are here in America. Today I hope to persuade you as to why we need gun control here in America. First, I will explain what gun control is, followed by an example of a country with successful gun control. And then I'll wrap up with explaining why we need gun control here in America. First, let's talk about what gun control is. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the definition of gun control is defined as the regulation, owning, and selling of guns. Gun control is not walking up to each and every house and forcing you to hand over your guns. No sensible gun control advocate wants to ban all guns. In my class, it was split 50-50 on whether or not they knew the state of Alabama's gun laws. So let's go over a couple of them. According to gunlaws.com, the state of Alabama does not require a permit for the purchase of shotguns, rifles, or handguns. This means you can walk into your local sports store and walk out with an AR-15 without presenting a permit. In Alabama, you have to be 18 or older to buy a rifle or shotgun. You have to be 21 in order to buy a handgun. These kind of relaxed gun laws are unacceptable. It makes no sense that you have to be 21 to buy a handgun, but an 18-year-old can go out and buy an AR-15. And what makes matters worse is that there is no conceal and carry permit in Alabama. It's not required. Relaxed gun laws, like Alabama's, lead to Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter, who obtained his guns legally, murdering dozens of people. Now that we have a general idea about what gun control is, let's talk about an example of a country with successful gun control. Many people will say gun control could never work, so why bother? Well, the country of Australia would like to have a word with you. April 28, 1996, Port Arthur, Australia. Martin Bryant killed 35 people with his semi-automatic rifle, according to NBCnews.com. Instead of doing nothing, like the United States does, the country of Australia did more than offer thoughts and prayers. 2 weeks after this massacre, Australia introduced the National Firearms Agreement. According to NBC News, this legislation outlawed automatic and semi-automatic rifles, along with pump-action shotguns. Australia also had a gun buyback program, which resulted in 640,000 weapons turned into the police. Australia hasn't had a mass shooting ever since those laws were legislated. That's 20 years. Here are some examples of Australian gun laws. According to Time.com and the Times Magazine, Category B is for centerfire rifles. To own a centerfire rifle, you have to provide a valid reason as to why you need such a powerful gun. An example of a valid reason would be that you need to shoot feral pigs or foxes. Category C is for farmers only. They are allowed to own semi-automatic shotguns and .22s. However, the cartridges are limited to 5 shots for the shotgun and 10 shots for the .22. Category H is for handguns. If you own a handgun in Australia, that means you do at least 8 competition shoots a year. If you don't, then you lose your license. And Category G is for collectors, and they have to go to at least 1 collector's meeting a year. Now that you have an example of a country with successful gun control laws, let's talk about why this country needs gun control. It's only April, and already this year we've had 64 mass shootings in America, according to gunviolence.org. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. We're not idiots. We all know that a gun cannot physically kill someone on its own. But there is no plausible reason anybody needs a weapon like the AR-15 that can kill dozens in minutes. Anybody can snap and become a murderer. That includes people who are usually law-abiding. It is not worth the risk having these weapons easily accessible. A lot of people like to hide behind the Second Amendment, but when the Founding Fathers wrote that, they were talking about muskets. There's no way they could have known of the weapons that we have today. Children should not have to go to school in fear for their lives like the children in Parkland, Florida. People should not have to fear for their lives at a nightclub like the ones who are at Pulse nightclub in Orlando. And people should not have to fear for their lives at concerts like the people at the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. We need action in the form of new legislation regarding guns. And perhaps criminals will still find a way to get a gun. But it needs to be harder than walking into your local sports store. I would rather make them put in the effort to obtain a gun illegally. And yes, it may be true. Things can kill people that are not guns, such as knives and cars. But these things have other utilitarian purposes. Guns are made for one thing, and that's to kill. In conclusion, I hope I have persuaded you to be pro-gun control. I have explained what gun control is. I've given an example of a country with successful gun laws, and I've explained why we need gun control. Talking about gun control is a good start, but to get results, it takes voting people out, like Alabama Senator Richard Shelby. According to MarchForOurLives.com, he's taken about $259,464 from the NRA. There are about 826,312 students in Alabama. That equals to about 31 cents per student. Vote for someone who values your life for way more than 31 cents. Thank you.